Oh, right. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Star Wars! Star Wars! Stars! Star Wars! Stars! Star Wars! Stars! Alright, so, what's up, everybody? Today we are going to see a little movie, a little independent movie. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's called Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's a big week for Disney.
Yeah, Disney is going to make its money back because they just bought Fox.
Yeah, so they got Avatar, they got Simpsons, they got all their Marvel properties back.
Almost all of them. They don't have solo Hulk movie rights.
Yeah, that's right. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars!
Star Wars.
It's been 2 years since the last main series Star Wars movie with The Force Awakens. Now, what has happened in that 2 years? A lot, actually.
We have Rogue One. We have Colin Trevorrow has been fired, or at least left the project on Episode 9, and J.J. Abrams is stepping back in. We have Phil Lord and Chris Miller were fired from the Han Solo movie. Ron Howard stepped in to complete the film.
And finally we have Rian Johnson, the writer-director of this movie, signed on to write and direct his own new trilogy of Star Wars movies for a new, let's call it, main series.
It is by far the biggest indication that they are putting some high hopes on this film, that they just put Rian Johnson right back into it.
Yes, but let's talk a bit about this. Rian Johnson is not amazing. This is Rian Johnson's first big studio film. In fact, he was up for Force Awakens when they were around looking for directors.
And they instead went with JJ because obviously he's a more established person. But now we have Rian Johnson taking on the helm, and he is one of my favorite film directors of all time because he directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Looper.
Looper was, and honestly, if you watch Force Awakens, you will see, and you watch Looper, they feel like they're cut from the same cloth of a throwback to what Star Wars was trying to be, which was, in a time of utopian sci-fi movies, it was gritty, it was dirty.
We cut a grungy dystopian sci-fi out of this kind of thing. So, obviously, he was a perfect fit, and it was incredibly exciting to hear that Rian Johnson was coming on to direct Star Wars.
And honestly, this movie could not have had a bigger fanfare. The fact is that this movie has been a long time coming, because everyone's been basically like, well, Force Awakens was basically A New Hope. Is this gonna be Empire? Is this gonna be Empire?
It's not gonna be fucking Empire. If you say it's gonna be Empire, fuck you.
Also, it's not gonna. Also, you're talking to two guys who still love The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So screw off on that.
But we have Mark Hamill returning as Luke. This time we're guaranteed he's going to be talking.
Yes, because unlike last time where he was a voiceover, this time we actually see his lips move while he talks in the trailers.
We have Daisy Ridley returning as Rey. Hey, the crush is strong with this one.
John Boyega returns as Finn.
The man crush is strong on that one.
Oscar Isaac returns as Poe Dameron, which is great because he got the least amount out of the big three main leads, the new mains they put in. He got the least amount of screen time.
We also have BB-8 returning. We have Peter Mayhew signing off as Chewbacca. This will be his final performance in the role.
Somehow Simon Pegg is coming back, I guess.
We also have Lupita Nyong'o coming back as Maz Kanata. We have Andy Serkis returning as Supreme Leader Snoke.
He's not an emperor. He's a supreme leader. He wants to make it clear that he is the supreme leader. He's not an emperor. He's a supreme leader.
Yeah, we have Andy Serkis coming back as Supreme Leader Snoke. We have
Adam Driver returning as
as Kylo Ren. Incredibly excited to see where that goes. We have we have her final performance ever, the late great, very sad to say this, Carrie Fisher.
Last year was tough. Last year had a lot of big losses, and Carrie Fisher was one of the last.
And she was one of the biggest.
And unfortunately, she wasn't the only loss that Star Wars had last year. Kenny Baker, the original actor behind R2D2,
the original actor slash puppeteer behind R2-D2, unfortunately also passed away last year. I imagine that the movie will be dedicated to both, is in some way dedicated to both of them. But Carrie Fisher will be a presence that will definitely be missed. It's very sad to say this because as people who grew up with Princess Leia as a female role model in a lot of people's lives, and
just a role model in general.
Carrie Fisher was all, and to now find out after the fact just how funny and smart and well-read and all this stuff she was, it's just heartbreaking to watch now. So we're probably gonna cry when we see Leia for the last time in this movie.
And honestly, all we can say is that the critics have been hailing this movie. They haven't been calling it the best of this franchise, but they've been saying that it's great, that it's still a great movie. And I hope we agree, and I have a new hope that we agree with them.
Get out.
I'm driving.
Get out!
I can't!
Get out!
Anyway, we are good to go. We are headed out. It is 7 o'clock. Not all of our friends at work are going to be seeing this movie at the same time.
So we're going to be going around doing some fake spoiling tomorrow when we get to work.
Yeah, can you believe that Kylo Ren was secretly just a pile of porgs all along?
But with that being said, we're not going to talk too much about this because there's not much else left to say. It's Star Wars.
It is Star Wars. What else do you want us to say? So, we'll see you after the chat.
Yep. Alright, guys. It's cold right now. It's like hot out there.
That was everything I ever wanted.
Yeah, that was it. That was everything we wanted out of this.
Stop. Look, this movie gave us... Once again, just like with Force Awakens, I was in the theater, I was 10 years old again. I was falling in love with Star Wars all over again.
We sat there and we watched and we cried and we laughed and we just felt everything we wanted to feel. Especially at the end when that text came on the screen that said, "In loving memory of our princess, Carrie Fisher."
This movie was... It's an emotional roller coaster ride, especially if you've spent so much of your life being a Star Wars fan. And I'm so happy that Rian Johnson did what he did with the franchise. He took it in a totally different... It's different, but it's definitely Star Wars.
It's a direction that nobody expected to see, which is what they were saying the entire time. We never saw this coming, and by the time you get to the end, you don't know what's going to happen, and we don't. We know where we've been, but where are we going? What's going to happen next? I don't envy JJ right now because that's...
Even though we made a whole video about jokingly saying, hey, Colin Trevorrow's out, we'll do it, but I wouldn't want to step in. I wouldn't want to step in after such a masterwork like that, but I'm not gushing for right now.
Let's talk about it. Mark Hamill turns in a damn good performance.
The best performance he may ever have as Luke Skywalker.
Which makes a lot of sense because this is in a lot of ways, a story about Luke. For the beginning of the movie, you feel like they essentially just turned Luke into the grumpy old man, like, get off my lawn. But after a while, you finally see it's Luke. He's just been through a lot. That's what we thought we would begin. That's kind of what we thought we'd beginning. But then suddenly Luke cracks a joke, and it's like, that's the boy we met on Tatooine all those years ago. It's the same guy. He's just older now.
He's older. He's been broken.
He's had things happen to him, which we can't say, but we've learned more about Kylo Ren, and Adam Driver did an amazing job playing him, showing the conflict that has grown inside him since the end of Force Awakens.
And I just gotta say, when the surprise cameo, because there's a surprise cameo that no one has talked it's revealed for the obvious reason that this is something that a lot of people would obviously get excited for, or so you don't want to spoil the surprise. But I've got to be honest, I was damn near close to tears in the theater, in the seat.
Yeah.
Just seeing what was going, seeing this character for the first time in forever.
We got Daisy Ridley turning in another stellar, fantastic performance as Rey. We get to see Rey grow and change and evolve as a character. She's not a Mary Sue!
She was never a Mary Sue!
Shut the fuck up about that Mary Sue bullshit!
Look at the actual facts!
Anyway, John Boyega does amazing as Finn.
Finn actually got more in this, but most people don't know. But most people don't like it. I thought it was okay.
I thought Finn's subplot was okay, but hey, honestly, I didn't think it was great.
In the end, if I think about it, you probably could have cut it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We also have newcomer Kelly Marie Tran playing Rose.
And she was all right, I guess.
We didn't get much of her. From what we got of her,
she's a good actress, but I don't know if I got an emotional attachment to Rose as much as I did the other newcomers that came from the last movie.
Yeah. Obviously, Oscar Isaac did amazing as Poe Dameron, who got a huge upgrade from the last movie where he just disappeared for like 45 minutes and then shows back up again.
And it's good to see him having a little bit of action. Andy Serkis as Snoke, he's turning in a good performance. I liked the fact that the animation on him was a little more detailed this time around. We now know a bit more about what Snoke looks like, and because of that, the animators got to actually show details on him that we didn't see in The Force Awakens, because he was just this vague, nobody knows who he is, character, bad guy, and in this movie we managed to see a bit more of him, and I liked the way that they portrayed it when they created him.
We also have, again, Carrie Fisher turning in a fantastic performance. People didn't like her in Force Awakens, but I thought she was good. This time, she is amazing in this movie. And we're not just pulling it, and we're not just saying this because she's gone. She was great.
It's her final performance, and
she gave it her all.
And I can't wait to see what they do in episode 9 to give her character a proper goodbye.
The action was fantastic. We got some great action sequences.
I gotta be honest, I really loved the flying sequences, the flying fight sequences. They were probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. I mean, I liked the lightsaber battles, don't get me wrong, but the flying but I loved the way that the flying sequences were shot and created with with the incredible visual effects.
We also got the Porgs, who are cute and funny.
And that's what we thought they were going to be, because Rian Johnson is not a hack.
And we also got a bunch of cool Easter eggs and stuff. We got some great character moments. And Benicio del Toro as DJ, that's all we're going to call him.
Because that's all they ever... Because they don't even call him it, because they don't call him anything in the movie.
Spoiler. But anyway, yeah, Benicio does fine. It's weird. We don't know we don't know much about the character. He has a stutter. He's a code breaker.
But he's unknown. I assume there's a big plan for him, but for right now, he turned in a good performance. But there's still a lot we don't know about him.
Yeah, we also have. We're also really excited to see what Rian Johnson has now because of this. Because
Final
Shot was fantastic, but not just the final shot of that shot, but it has my second favorite shot in all of Star Wars. and it matches, and it just is so beautiful and so moving, and I loved seeing it.
And Laura Dern is in the movie as Vice Admiral.
Sorry, we don't know. We don't remember her name.
Yeah,
but she does good.
Hey, give us this. It's better than Rogue One, where we barely remembered half the people's names.
Yeah.
Names. But is it better than Rogue One?
Yeah.
It's in a lot of ways. It's even a better Star Wars war movie than Rogue One.
We got so much cool stuff about it. We can't spoil much. We're not spoiling much, but we loved this a lot of this movie. It was a little long. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I felt like there was a point where it ended, but I felt like there was a point where they had hit the end, but then they kept going. This isn't really much of a weakness when you consider that more Star Wars is actually really good, especially when you get a movie this great. I don't know if it's the best. I don't know if I'm going to put it on my list how far up my list for Star Wars movies it's going to be, but it's gonna be. But I think it's gonna. But I don't know where it's going to be.
I'm gonna have to see it again to get the ranking.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to see it again. We're probably going to see it again, more than likely. And I don't know. There's a lot to love, and there was an emotion, and I feel an emotional connection to this movie, particularly because we've been Star Wars fans for so long that we've grown attached to the characters, to the story, to John Williams' beautiful score. One of the things that I was a little worried about was that he might not incorporate the theme he wrote for Rey in the original in The Force Awakens into it, which honestly was one of the reasons why I bought the Force Awakens soundtrack. I don't usually buy score soundtracks, but I bought that. And I'm so glad that he did. And the score was beautiful and breathtaking, and it gave us everything we would need to understand what's going on in these. Yes.
We also have I forgot what I was gonna say. You were talking about. Hold on, let me think for a second. Yeah, I can't remember it right now, but right. This very much this run was just us geeking out. So the next run we'll probably find some more flaws and stuff with it, and we'll probably think about it more. But
I don't know. This
was a pretty solid movie.
I mean, Star Wars is on a good track, and I'm pretty sure that J.J. Abrams can pull off another run, and pull it off again.
Plus, we got another Star Wars movie coming in about 6 months. Hopefully, unless they bump it.
Hopefully, this will continue the track record of good Star Wars movies that we've had. Disney's acquired Muppets, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars, and they have not really, and through those acquisitions, they have not really made terrible movies.
So, with that being said, we're almost home, so I
think it's time to sign off.
Yep, so
be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, leave in the comments below what you thought of The Last Jedi, and seriously, guys, no spoilers. Just, who do you think you are? One of those asshole reporters who was like, well, this movie wasn't what I wanted, so I'm just gonna throw a little spoiler in my review. You think of that? Little spoiler?
So we'll see you guys next time when
this is the greatest show.
See you guys.